Alright folks, this is A from A Tech Reviews, and last time I shot the unboxing of the Kinera Imperial Verdandi, and today this will be our chance to talk about it, mention a few words, and compare it to maybe one or more IEMs. So let's start. Let me first start about what I think are the cons. I've been listening to this for 2 days now, and let's go quickly because I want to make this video short and give you the important information. Quickly, one of the first things that caught my eye, and maybe this is for you to decide, I found Asla. Asla is a brand I like. I use their Sedna fits, excellent. I replaced them by DUNU SNS because of the ease of use. And here we find that super small or double S, medium small, medium large. Now, I think what makes more sense is to include like the small, medium, large, right? This is the kind of like the default expectation when you kind of get a set of default ear tips. Sadly, I used the medium large and they were not big enough for my ears. I had to use something else to get a better seal. I tested this IEM with a lot of ear tips. Use the KO7 provided with the Kinera, and I like this more. One of my favorite ear tips of all time, after the render tips and SS ear tips, are the Final Type E. Of course, Final professional brand, and we find here, of course, thanks to Kinera, they included the double S, S, M, L, and double L. I use the double large. I could use the large, no problem. I just like the comfort and ease of getting a seal provided by the double large. Now, getting to the cable. The cable itself, without the connector, I'm not going to talk about the connector. The cable itself is kind of thin. Kinera, I think, invested more into the quality of the material used, the metals, because this includes the silver metal. So silver is more expensive. I will talk about it because this affects the sound of this earphone. It makes it slightly sharp sometimes. It depends on what you want to use. So anyway, we provide here the cable stopper. This is made of metal, which is excellent. But I think the cable doesn't let you feel that you're paying $1,200, right? This IEM costs $1,200, and this cable, the shape itself, the feeling of the thinness, is provided also in one of the previous or similar. You can see some similar cable, like for example, I bought a Kinera cable which had a mic. I used to use it for work, and it had a similar thickness and a similar style. It never gets tangled or anything, no problem here. And you can see here, if I focus or zoom in, you can see that it kind of has these dots or glitter, which is okay. It looks nice. You have your Velcro here, which is like a metal cloth, which is okay. Helps tidy up the cable and organize it. So that's it about that. Speaking of the IEM themselves, I will just have like short things I will say quickly. Like, I expect them to perhaps, first of all, they look absolutely wonderful and gorgeous and honestly breathtaking. Would you look at that? Huh? Would you look at that? See how beautiful that is. The three vents are kind of on the large side, and here on the opposite side, the opening is there. And what I want to say is, I expect at least for them to include like left and right side on the earpiece itself. It's not provided. It's provided on the cable. Also in the manual, they say that it has a red color on the right side. I don't. Perhaps mine is like that. I bought mine, but I don't know why it's not included. Maybe it's early. Maybe there's a mistake or something, or maybe it will not be. So there you have it here. The look is absolutely wonderful. It is on the large side, and they're extremely light if I have to measure the weight, because I don't want to guess here. Let's see how much they weigh. And I will include one with the ear tips. Or actually, you know what? Let's remove the ear tips. This is the left side. They're kind of like 6.9 grams. That's kind of on the light side. Very light side, I might say. For people who ask me about the nozzle, let's go measure. There you have it. 6.5 millimeters, 6.5 to 6.6. There you go. So this is for the nozzle diameter. Let me put this back. So this is not negatives, everything I said. It just depends on your opinion, and it's just a few things I have to say about it. This bag is good, is awesome. It's light, portable. I take it with me everywhere. Nothing fell from here. I worried about that. Something also which I want to say quickly is the 2-pin openings here. I kind of hoped that they would be deeper inside. Like, I don't know what they call it now. I forgot. But it's just when it's deeper, it's kind of more secure. But here, I have no complaint, because for Kinera here, they provided the 2-pin. It kind of like has a lock. You could hear even when you use it, like this. So it's even okay. See, it just lets you know it's in there. I just wish it's more for protection, but it's okay. It stays in, no problem. Now, one thing I have to say, which I like a lot, they included, is the interchangeable adapter type. Previously, from this side and many brands that have similar interchangeable table, this was used to be loose, or it could be easily lost. I remember I had a lot of adapters and cables like this where I lost them. Here, thankfully, it's more secure, and when you put it like this, be careful, guys, if any of you gets this and buys it, when you enter it, don't just stop here. If you look, I'm going to zoom in. After you enter it here, just remember to push that extra push, because see, it goes in that more, which makes it so tight you can't get it out. You can, of course, but I mean, it's so secure. So that's really good. You can see from a different angle. I'm trying to let you see here, and then you go, it takes some time. Really good, really good. I like that a lot. I appreciate that a lot. It's something very nice. So that's it about the cable. That's it about the ear tips. That's it about the box. I'm using them with vinyl. I think they provide the best. Now, last thing I will say, it's not a positive or negative, it's just an observation, which is when I use this, something strange. This is the first time for me to hear a bone conduction driver, and every time I touch it like this, there is a ringing inside, like a vibration, which I feel. It is exactly the same feeling you get when you type on your phone, that haptic feedback. If you type on a keyboard, then you activate the haptic feedback, or you use your phone if you use Android or iPhone. It has that sometimes. If you exit an app, if you go to the home screen, there is that slight. Here it is slight, of course it's not big. Another thing I noticed is when I put this in my ears, and every time I touch my ears together, I grit my teeth, or like I do like this. Oh my God, like I hear the sound ringing in my skull. Same thing happened when I touch my hand and I tap on the left and right sides and on the top of my skull like that. I hear it ringing all over my skull. This affected the sound somehow also, in the way that the sound sounds like it's weird, because it's not coming from, some of the sound is not coming at your eardrum. Rather, some of the sound is coming in a way that you hear, but you don't know where it's kind of hard to describe for me, honestly. Just, I don't know how to say it. It just, not at the ear, you just hear the sound in your head. That's the way I describe it. Not every sound, of course, it's a bone conduction, tuned more, I think, towards the bass, which gets me to the next point. Let's get into the bass. How does the bass in this sounds? In my personal opinion, I believe the bass could be more. I believe the bass here could have been done better. And I'm talking about the quantity. I think these have like a 6mm driver. I'm not sure for the dynamic driver, the size of it. But I think it's not like other IEMs. I would go on and say it has bass. The bass is good. I think it's a step below neutral. Even if we hear the bass in our head, I think We need that slam, we need that attack, we need that impact to think or hear that bass. Rumble doesn't happen here. I just finished reviewing the DUNU Glacier. If you could see the previous, the video before the previous one, I think, and the rumble was exquisite. It was awesome. It was beyond my expectation. Here, there is no rumble. You feel the bass, you hear the bass. It is good, but I can't stop feeling that I want more. Now, I solved this problem very easily because I was not impressed with it. I solved it very easily with some EQ. It dramatically transformed, and it was impactful and slamming and everything you can think of. It is punchy and fast. It is detailed and textures also, but I will give you an example of something I used, which is magic, is this hip deck. There is a button here. You can see it's called X-Bass. Oh my God. I call this the magic button. I use this with my Sennheisers also. It's awesome. You just put it into the balanced output here. You just click this X-Bass and boom. It's everything you could ever wish for. Another thing is if you use any FIO BTR7, BTR15, the app has some EQ. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Like, I can't ask for more. I think most music players now have that. If you use USB audio player or whatever the one you use. This is the one I use mostly with Neutron music player. They're excellent in my opinion. So here the bass transformed. Now, sub bass here is light. Like, I think here sub bass is light. It can be helped with EQ. Like I added some EQ and I added like good gain amount, but it didn't improve. Moving on to the vocals. The vocals here are very clear and even better than some IEMs. But I think the mids, specifically the upper mids, are a little bit pushed high to my liking. It is very clear, it is very clean, it is detailed. The bass here doesn't bleed into the mids in any way. The vocals, like if you listen to someone like Barry White or something like that, it is very good, it's excellent. But I have a feeling inside that I don't know, the upper mids should be like, could be like a tad bit, just a touch lower. That's my opinion about it. Female vocals shine, and sometimes they shine too much. Sometimes I wish they shone less. It is very clear, very detailed, which brings us to the next point, the treble. Treble here is excellent, it is detailed, it is something, if any of you guys never experienced an IEM that costs more than 1K. This is something you find in these IEMs, especially if they have the EST from Sonyon, is that the level of detail, the level of air, the ethereal quality, it reminds me of Stax. It reminds me of so much detail. Here on the Kinera Imperial Verdandi, I think it is pushed just a bit too much. It makes the female vocals sound excellent, exquisite, it's super detailed. But at the same time, if I'm listening to a drum solo or like heavy metal, and it gets into like the drum part or the drum solos, you could choose the song you like. Sometimes it could get a bit much to my ear. I have to lower the volume because it is so detailed. It is separated. It's excellent, but it's a bit too much in my opinion. So this, if I had to rank this without EQ, I gave it an 8.5. With EQ, I just lower the upper mids a slight. I lower some of the treble, I'm talking 1 to 2 dB, nothing more. And this becomes, in my opinion, a 9.5. It is so airy. The sound signature, I would describe it as airy. It is trebly, clear, detailed IEM. I could go so far even as to say good analytical, not the bad analytical. I will tell you also how I solved this problem. When I was describing the sound, I noticed that I was reviewing it with THX789 and topping A90. A bad combo, in my opinion. This is not a best pairing to do. If you want to get the best of them, use anything else. With the iFi hip deck, I had no problem. With the BTR7, I had no problem. With the AFUL SnowyNight and the Moonriver 2 Ti, I had no problem. This problem came to me sometimes when I used these super analytical, hyper detailed headphone amplifiers like the TH789, topping L70, and topping A90. All of them I had this problem, to be honest. Not a problem, it just sometimes. I like to listen to a lot of rock music, a lot of heavy metal. Guitars here sound very good, the grunge, it sounds awesome. Just sometimes the cymbals, when they hit so much and they are the main focus of the mix, you kind of feel like you want to push them back a bit. Females' vocals sound very good, but sometimes if there is like a soprano or something, you kind of feel like you want it just a touch lower. I would describe this treble, I would say it is kind of similar to a The-Audio Monarch MK3. Similar, which is like sometimes it gets hot, sometimes too spicy, but the level of detail could make you say, it's good. The good choice here is with some DAC chips, like the ESS is very sharp also. I think with some Cirrus Logic or some AKM, it becomes wonderful and excellent. So that's what I want to say. I solved this also with using some foam ear tips, make it very good. Final is a good. And the silver cable, I think, for my ears was not the best choice here. I think something like the any copper cable, if you have, I recommend the copper cables for something like Kinera Imperial Verdandi. In my opinion, I didn't believe in how cables affect sound before for a long time, for 10 years, until I tried a few cables that changed my worldview. Yes, changed my opinion completely. Compare them. Now, using something like the render tips or foam tips with a copper cable and something normal like BTR15, heaven, a full snowy night heaven. So I want to say a few things quickly also about the sound signature. I said it's detailed, like very, very detailed and airy. Everything else is balanced, I think low bass. That's my opinion. Don't judge me, that's my opinion. I think it has slightly below bass. The timbre is very good. It's natural timbre. The sounds are good. I would, in terms of drivability, because this question I get asked a lot, especially private messages and so on, I think it is very easy to drive, like super easy. I reviewed the AFUL SnowyNight in a previous video. I compared it to the Moonriver, and honestly now I changed my opinion. I prefer this to the Moonriver 2 Ti. It's more musical, it's beautiful, and it makes something like this shine. This is my go-to now daily. I love the cable. And here, this is an excellent combo. If you don't want the AFUL and you ask me for another one of this, I recommend the Q-Style M15 or the Moonriver 2 Ti, or any of the FIO, BTR15, KA11, I think, and the BTR7. I have all of them, I enjoy them, and I tested them already. I wouldn't use this with something like THX Onyx. I tested it, it's hyper detailed, more than necessary. That's just my personal opinion. Now, we come to the time where I will do a quick comparison between this one and my daily current driver. Let me get it. Which is, let me put this here, which is the DUNU Glacier. A wonderful and superb IEM. Now, what do I think about the DUNU Glacier compared to the Kinera Imperial Verdandi? Let me start by saying, compare first the cables. I like the cable on the DUNU much more. That's just my opinion, no judgment. I like the cloth, I like how heavy it is, how thick it is. I like my cables on a bit on the thicker side. That's just my personal opinion. Size-wise, I think the Kinera is bigger, but it's lighter in my ears. It looks more outwards when I wear it compared to the DUNU, but I like both of them fine. I feel the DUNU on my ear, which I have no problem with that. I don't feel this one at all, the Kinera Verdandi. Cables, also I have to talk about the connector. I think it's a tie. Previously in the SA6, I think this was more difficult to remove and put on again, which made it a hassle in my opinion, made me only use one connector. But now this is so easy to remove, no problem at all. You can just do it like that in one hand and even no problem at all. Kinera also has become more stable here, no problem. The cable stoppers, both of them are metal, no problem here, excellent. So I just say the connector, I will give it the same ranking. The cable, I like the DUNU one better. I usually don't like MMCX, but I like the MMCX. Here on the DUNU one, it's kind of more stable, and in my opinion, it is more stable and secure. It can't get out. The Kinera one is also stable. I just feel like the DUNU one, I can't even get it off if I want to. And it makes me not worry about issues like polarity and whatnot. So that's just a small opinion. Now, getting into the sound quickly, bass, DUNU wins, no problem. Yeah, does that even mean with EQ? Yes, I choose the DUNU Glacier without EQ over the Kinera Imperial Verdandi with EQ. Why is that? I just like the feeling, I like the slam, I like the rumble, the sub bass and the bass and the amount, the quantity and quality. The detail also in the bass and texture here is excellent. It's one of the best bass I've ever heard in an IEM. All right, moving on to the vocals. Which one do I choose? I choose the DUNU Glacier again. Why is that? Because I feel that the vocals on the DUNU Glacier is pushed forward more to my liking. Here they are good. They are neutral in my opinion. They're not like recessed or anything like that. I just think they have a clarity more because of the upper mids that are pushed up and the treble that is coming down to it, which makes it very, very clear and detailed. Here it is very clear, but I like the balance between the male and female vocals and how it is forwarded. It is compared to the rest of the sound spectrum, the bass and the treble. Here it is very forward and the treble is forward, so it's kind of like you feel the vocals are clear, more clear, but pushed more than the bass, and it seems like very clear, like it has a more clarity and upper mids, and it sounds like not upfront like this one. Here it's upfront and balanced. Here it is upfront and falling more to the treble side and the upper mids focus. Moving on to the treble, DUNU wins every time. I can listen to any drum track. I can listen to many heavy metals and listen to anything I like. I have no problem. I don't get any listener fatigue. I don't get any fatigue from here, but sometimes I have to choose the pairing. I have to choose the ear tip. I have to choose what I'm listening to. Sound signature, neutral, perfect. Here, low bass, more detailed sound signature. Timbre, natural, lifelike. Here is natural. Here, this is listening to real life. Quickly, also drivability. This takes more to drive, just a small amount. This is more sensitive and can get by with anything. The last thing I would say is the imaging. This one has better imaging, to be honest. This one is close, but it has wider soundstage, which makes things seem a little slightly far. Which, in comparison, this with the vocals, makes it sound more intimate. That's it, guys. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to compare this to other 6-driver IEMs I have, but I think it's not fair because the price will be almost half. So this is it for the review of the Kinera Imperial Verdandi. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. I will reply to you as soon as possible. And if you find this channel helpful, please hit the subscribe button on your way out. This was A, and I'm out. Until the next one, stay positive.